All right, it is now time for the Week 13 Fantasy Football Show. Only a couple more weeks left in the season, a couple more shows as well before playoffs start. And boy, do we have a lot to discuss this week as we are getting into the crunch time of the season with the standings very close. But let's look at what happened last week in Week 12. First, there was a lot of big matchups last week. So let's talk them over. First, my matchup versus Zombie, and I get a huge victory, huge victory,
Huge.
140 to 128 to put myself at 6-6. Zombie falls to 7-5, and out of that one seed at the moment. Big victory for me as it did not look good after Thanksgiving night when Debo had 22 huge points and my two Seattle boys combined for 16. I was in a early hole and I thought it was looking like I was going to get fucked. But Trevor Lawrence, Calvin Ridley, after having 0 points at half, had a huge second half. Josh Jacobs had a huge game. Hawkinson did his normal thing to get me the win on Monday night. And it was a Devontae Smith game for the Eagles as I needed Smith to have a huge game and just one of the guys for Zombie to pop off, and I got that as Hurts did all the scoring. Swift only had 9, and A.J. Brown only had 14, and Smith got the huge points, 23 big points. That was the recipe to beat Zombie. Have only one of his Eagles stack pop off, and then my guy on the other side pop off with a couple other big players as well popping off. So GG's the Zombie. Big win for me as I did not want to fall under 500, especially with 2 weeks left and some tough matchups up ahead. Zombie, your comments after your loss to me. Your team performed pretty well, but not well enough.
Books, boys are fucking bums.
Okay, all right.
I have a comment.
All right, go ahead.
I called Devontae Smith game.
Yes, you did. That's 2 weeks in
And
a row. It's been a Devontae Smith game. You love to
Zombie
see it.
and
I
Zombie, I
have
will
Hold on,
say
let Rap
that
finish.
I said it before that having the 3 Eagles players all together may hurt him in the future, and so far that happened again. Just
Yeah,
looked at a bad game.
you need at least 2 of them to pop
Too many
off.
players from the same team.
You need at least 2 of them to pop off, and
Yep.
they didn't. I mean, really, the difference in our matchup was the running backs. Zombies Warren, who looked really good the week before. It was a
Well,
Najee Harris game last week, so that hurt him a lot because that was kind of the difference in the matchup. Jacobs got 22, and Warren only got 7, and that was kind of the big difference. All right, go ahead, Cheese.
Okay. No, I'll let Ernie talk.
Oh, I mean, we're not even on Ernie's matchup yet.
But
Fuck you, zombie.
he's
Okay.
gonna
Little
say something.
fucking pussy.
Hello, Ernie. Welcome to your first show of the season. Okay,
Hello?
welcome. This is a special one as well. Big ending to the year coming up with these matchups. Is there any general comment you'd like to make in your first show?
I
Hello?
will think my boy Rat will win it all.
Wow. So you're just
Fuck
giving
it.
up completely on you winning it all and just going right to Rat?
Okay,
Me versus Rat the final.
that's
I
not
like it.
happening.
Who?
What happened to Ernie's mic?
Yeah, you sound horrible,
All right,
Ernie.
Ernie, figure that out. My
Sound like
comment
you're in a
is,
bed.
let me finish my comment. That's a well-deserved win for Golfer. His team has been performing well all season. Zombie's team is fraudulent. The better team got what they deserved this week.
You don't care. Get
Wow.
up.
We
Let's
knew.
go.
Okay.
Ernie, don't you have COVID to tell your
What
boss
the
this?
Ernie,
fuck
can you
is he
actually get on the
doing,
Xbox?
Golfer?
Ernie, you're gonna have to fix your mic. We can barely understand what you're saying. Please. All right, moving on to the second matchup of last week, and this was a lower scoring affair. And Pussy, he did all that shit talking last week against Matt, and then his team did not back him up. 118 to 98. Matt's team scored more than the previous week, but still not a huge game from Matt's team. But it was enough to beat Pussy's team, who only scored 98 points. We did all that hyping up of Pussy last week on the show, saying how improved his team was, how he made good trades, how his team was looking up. I mean, he was in the playoff spot. Everything was looking bright. He comes in, talks shit on Matt's team, saying he's going to win, and then his team just falls completely flat back to ass last week. Pussy, I'll let you have the floor. What do you have to say for yourself after not following through to beat Matt?
You know, I really need my tight end.
Hmm.
And
You really need your tight end.
I will
Okay. Yeah, you had 0 from Jonnu Smith. Yikes.
and
Oh, Goddard.
if the 49ers do not do good,
Yeah. Okay.
I am fucked.
We
Ernie,
can't
we can't
hear
you
you,
if you're
Ernie.
saying anything.
Yeah, the Purdy had his first
Oh,
bad
yeah.
game on your team. I mean, he didn't have a bad game in the game. They just were winning by so much. He didn't. It was a McCaffrey couple touchdowns. But
Yeah.
I mean, what has happened to Etienne? He had all those huge games
Yeah,
back to back to
Pusa,
back,
I'm not
and
worried
he has
about
fallen off a
Etienne.
cliff.
Not worried at
Pusa,
all.
you say
Oh,
that
okay.
ETN was the RB2 for the rest of the season 2 weeks ago. He's
No,
been
he's still
looking
gonna be.
like the RB22.
He's gonna be RB2.
Oh, okay. So
Are
you're
you sure
you're
after he got
expecting him
hurt?
to pick it back up then?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
I do.
All right. Well, I hope for my sake that's not the case because Lawrence can keep throwing touchdowns. On Matt's side, he had a huge game from Pacheco. Horrible shit game for Madison, but Madison, that's kind of just what you're going to get from Madison because the Vikings are not good. Justin Fields did not have a good game on Monday night,
Yes, he
but it
did.
didn't matter because it was enough to beat Pussy's mediocre score for this week. Matt now goes to 7-5, so a big victory for him to almost lock up the playoffs. Almost, not quite, but it's a
Yeah.
it would take a lot for Matt to miss.
Congrats, Matt.
Pussy now,
Congratulations.
after looking
will
really
miss.
good last week to make the playoffs, now he's in that battle for one of those final spots.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens
Congrats
with
to
this team moving
Matt.
forward.
He's not making the playoffs.
Who, Pussy or Matt?
Congrats to Matt.
Matt.
Really? So even with this win,
Look,
you don't think he's making the
Golfer,
playoffs?
We'll discuss. We get to stand.
Golfer, can I say something?
Yes.
No,
go.
I'm fucking
Hold on,
talking.
let
Like
Cheese
great
Shut
finish.
the
game.
fuck up, you
Oh
Italian.
my God!
minutes
Calm
segment
down.
later.
Calm down.
Holy
No.
shit.
Holy shit.
Jesus,
what is
Cheese.
going on?
Cheese is fired up tonight. I love it. All right, go ahead,
Let me
Cheese.
finish my
Sorry.
point.
Yes, go ahead.
All
Well,
I'm
you
saying
interrupted
is-
Rat last
There's
time.
potential. Not saying it's guaranteed. There's potential for lots of teams to finish 7-7, and you will have the lowest
Yes.
points for.
I know. That's why I didn't say it was.
Matt,
If you heard what I
Matt,
said, I
believe
said.
he will still drop out.
If you heard what I said he's not a lock yet, but if he would have lost this week, he would have been in much greater
he needed
danger.
This win. He
So
needed
this
the
is
win.
a big win for him to get him almost where he wants to get. Although the problem with Matt's team is, even if he makes the playoffs, I don't know.
He's not doing anything.
His team was so good at the beginning of the season, and it's just kind of
Weird,
fallen
so
off.
toxic tonight.
It's just falling off.
All
a
right,
cliff a
let's
little
keep
bit.
going.
All right, moving
Whoa,
on.
Whoa.
Oh, go ahead, Rat. What?
Justin Fields had a great game. What do you mean?
He had
Shut
10
the fuck
points.
100 yards to DJ Moore, buddy.
Well, yeah,
Good
DJ Moore is definitely his guy. So you love it when Justin
He's the
Fields is
only
playing.
guy there.
He's literally the
Yeah,
only guy.
but with
Oh,
those other fucking bum
Ultimate.
quarterbacks, DJ
Great guy.
Moore didn't do as well. So,
The favorite match of the week.
all right, moving on to the biggest rape of the week. Bill. We all kind of thought Bill would win this game over Tyler, but I did not expect Bill to blow him out this much. 177 most points on the week to 107. Another mediocre score for Tyler, and that's just kind of been what his season has been. Mediocre. His team's not performed very often. Bill gets a huge victory to go to 8-4, now tied for first place. So aiming now for that bye. He's locked up a playoff spot, basically. I mean, even if he lost his next two games and was 8-6, he would get in on tiebreaker because he has so much points for than all those teams at 6-6. So huge game from Allen before his bye next week. Taylor had another huge game, although he is now injured. So I think Bill is hoping he gets that bye because that maybe can spare a few weeks for Taylor to hopefully come back.
Look, bye week, Bill doesn't have good luck with buys.
Yeah, he does have a lot of buys this upcoming week, but that's why getting the win was so important because he could
Oh,
lose next
fucking
week
team
and
put up
still be
20
fine.
man.
Yeah, everybody on his team. Kamara 15 was like the lowest besides Kincaid. I mean, even the special teams did double digits, so
This is
huge.
the newest highest score of the week too.
Yeah, so he's looking really. I mean, he topped his own record, I think, didn't he?
I'll
So-
top it next week.
I think so.
He's looking very strong to win that award for most points in the week. On Tyler's side, he falls to 4-8. Now is in last place on points for with Zach, so he is struggling. I'd like to, his team is the art of the deal, but it doesn't seem like those deals are really helping him change anything with the season. As Eckler had another shit game. I mean, Eckler, what has happened to him this year? It just seemed like he's never been able to get going with the injury. Then he came back, had a
fucking
couple
bum,
nice
that's what
weeks, but has now come back to pretty much
Yeah,
shit.
the Chargers
Not
did.
what you're expecting. Lamar Jackson, same. He's very inconsistent. You don't know what Lamar you're going to get each week
I was
fantasy-wise.
told Lamar Jackson is not better than C.J. Stroud.
Yeah, well, Lamar is so inconsistent. C.J. Stroud's been a beast, so I would disagree with Tyler on that. Stevenson was the one bright spot for Tyler's team this week as he scored 21 big points, and he got 20 points from Derrick Henry, so at least that was a decent trade there as he gave up Pollard for Henry and I don't remember what else. But McBride did okay too, but nowhere near
Pickett had a
enough as
great game.
Tyler's receivers let him down. Godwin is mediocre. Hopkins mediocre because their offenses are not good. He picked up a kicker
Unlucky for his kicker.
and his kicker got -1. Did he get hurt? Is that why he got -1?
No,
No.
the Lions just go for it in every fourth.
Oh,
down.
they just went for it on him.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Okay.
And he missed a PAT.
So we will, when we look at the standings, we'll talk a little more about Tyler, but it is not looking good to get in the playoffs. He needs a miracle.
I think he's eliminated essentially.
I mean,
Oh,
I
shit.
don't think he's mathematically technically limited, but he's going to
Mathematically,
have
he's
to
not,
score
but
a
he's-
ton of points these
Mathematically,
next
he's
2
eliminated.
weeks and win both.
Yeah.
It doesn't look good. It does not look good.
Next,
What?
he is
Ernie,
done.
you gotta
He
get
is
on the
done.
Xbox.
Ernie, I
Yeah,
don't know what
Ernie,
the
what
fuck
are you
happened.
doing, Ernie?
Yeah.
This is the one time you can be at the show, Ernie, and you're coming in on your
your
fucking
phone.
whatever
Actually,
AirPods or whatever. Like, get
Golfer,
on the fucking mic.
According to the numbers, Tyler does have a 0% chance of
Shut up,
seventh place,
shut up, shut up,
so
shut
I
up.
think he is eliminated.
Oh my gosh, shut up.
I don't think those numbers are
Ernie, we can't hear you.
totally. He
Those are
plays
just Monte-
he
Monte
plays two
Carlos.
teams. He plays teams that are like ahead of him.
Okay,
they
he would
think.
need a Hail Mary, okay? He would need
Yeah,
a-
you
That's
would
what
need-
I
you would
said.
need a
That
Hail
he's.
Mary.
All right,
That's
keep
what
going,
I
keep
said. I said it's not looking good at all. You'd have to score a shit ton of points.
Ooh.
I'm at the strip club. Okay, well, be careful there. We all know what happens there. It ain't good. All right, moving on to the next matchup. We had Pook versus Ernie. No wonder Ernie's mic's so shit. He probably doesn't want to comment on his matchup last week against Pook. Pook
Yikes.
takes him behind the woodshed, 149 to
That is
101.
raping. Holy
Ernie was
Hey.
saying some shit in the chat last week about how he was going to end Pook's season, and anytime somebody says that about Pook's team, Pook
I like that
responds.
exact-
That's like the third time.
Hey, I
Uh,
think this is a perfect time to mention that me and Ernie still have that $100 bet every year.
Oh, and Pussy's in the
Oh.
lead in that by a game.
my.
Oh, ooh. All right, so
Perfect.
Ernie falls. Another mediocre week for him as he traded away Lawrence a couple weeks ago and was rolling with the Dobbs show, and the Dobbs show went way off the tracks this week as he looked absolutely horrible on Monday Night Football. Was in the negative for most of the game until he threw that touchdown
Yep,
to
good boy.
Hawkinson at the end. McCaffrey was the lone bright spot, as always, for Ernie's team. It seems to be the case. Laporta had a nice
Oh.
game as well, but everything else was under 10 points and very mediocre. On Pook's side, a huge game from Stroud once again, continues to be dominant. And Ernie, it's only fitting, Ernie's been shitting on Bijan Robinson all year, so it's only fitting that Bijan would have one of his best games of the season against Ernie this week. Huge game, 27 points. We'll see if he can keep that rolling moving forward. Pook's team's going to look a lot more scary. Barkley, though, didn't do much, but he didn't need to. Mike Evans had a huge game as well. Olave got hurt at half, but he had a huge first half, so that helped. And the Miami defense, 24 huge points on the week. Overall, very solid, huge performance for Pook's team when he needed it most to now go to 6-6. Ernie falls to 5-7, and Ernie's going to need to win out and get some help maybe a little bit. So Ernie not in the best position right now, and he doesn't have Jefferson yet for another week, so he's only going to get him back for the final week of the regular season. If Ernie could sneak in somehow with Jefferson back, maybe he could do something, but he's got some problems at some other positions that aren't what JJ and McCaffrey can maybe just overcome. I don't know. We'll see. Pook, your comments after the big woodshed rape of Ernie this past week.
CJ Stroud is my hero.
Yes.
My team was a mess before I got him in.
What college did CJ Stroud come from?
He is the best Ohio State
Thank
quarterback
you.
to ever
Yes.
play in the NFL.
Yes, I agree. MVP, my MVP right there.
Definitely
Alright.
better than Kyle McCord.
Okay, Zombie, too soon. Too
That
soon.
guy
Oh,
fucking
oh,
sucks.
That's
God,
too soon,
geez,
Zombie.
that's below the belt.
It's way too soon on that.
Imagine if Pook kept Gibbs. So
Oh.
many more wins.
That's
he
a
would have.
win-win trade. I wouldn't be in golfer.
How's that
if I
a
did-
win-win trade? Tyler Lockett's been shit.
Tyler Lockett put up good weeks for me.
You would rather have
Click-
Tyler
click on-
Lockett's points
Click
than
on Tyler
Gibbs?
Lockett right now. Click on Tyler Lockett.
I
would
mean, you
rather
didn't
have
play him like
Lockett
the
than
first couple
Gibbs?
weeks that you got him.
I played him when he played
You
Washington.
would rather
I played
have
him
that
last
than
week.
Gibbs? Are we serious?
I didn't play against Cleveland though. That was a mistake.
Wow. Look at where
All right,
teams
well,
now.
we'll debate.
Look
You
at-
guys
look
can
at-
debate your trade later on.
Puka Nacua has been
Ernie,
Yeah, Pook isn't bad.
Ernie, your comments after a
We're not
disappointing
gonna be able to
drudging
hear
by
this.
Pook, 5-7 now. It's looking a little
Well-
grim for you.
Look, simple. It's the holidays. I gave a Make-A-Wish
Aw, that's nice of you.
foster child a win he much needed.
Okay.
And the fantasy gods will pay me back this week and next week the win. So I'm not too worried.
All right.
I'm trusting the cancer patient Dobbs. He will not put on my team anymore.
Jesus Christ.
Okay. All right.
Don't put Central right.
Wow, that's very nice. Very nice of you, Ernie, to care so much about Pook, and the holiday
Fucked
spirit
up.
is just all surrounding you right now, Ernie. We'll see if your team can follow through with some gifts for you the next couple weeks. All right, moving on.
Also,
Go ahead. Yes.
Luke, you know my PayPal. Send me my
Oh.
money.
What is the
The
money?
season is not over.
The
Bijan
season's
for
not over.
Bijan?
300 points.
Oh.
Yeah,
Bijan.
You never know that. We could see
Wait.
an owner
Yeah,
of McCaffrey's
It's
leg
got to be
dangling.
disappointing when Bijan has this huge game but still loses points on McCaffrey.
Would you like to double or nothing our bet?
Why would I do that?
All right, exactly. You're not 50 players. Shut the fuck up.
Oh.
PayPal, you bitch.
Okay.
I will
Zach
when the
is in
season
the
Is there a
over.
buyout, Ernie? Is there a buyout being offered?
Buyout is $65.
Was that how
Hey,
much the
the
bet
buy-
was?
No, that's $50.
Ah.
Hey, Ernie, I offer you a buyout. I offer you an $80 buyout right now.
On what?
So I offer you
Oh.
an $86 buyout.
Interesting.
Okay, bud.
All right. Well, we'll see. Moving on
Buddy.
to. All right, we're moving on.
I play slaps in Zach. I'm not worried.
Yeah, we'll get to next week. I mean, the team. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. All right. Looking at last week with it was a big matchup between Zach and Slaps.
Birthday.
Zach had a nice week the week before against me and scored a good amount of points and beat me. And then this week turns around and back to under 100 points for Zach's team. And Slaps scores 113 but gets a win, 113 to 93. Huge win for Slaps to go to 6-6. So big couple wins now for him to get himself right in the mix. On Zach's side, he falls to 4-8, now tied for last place, but ahead of Tyler if it ended today on points for. So at least he has that going for him over Tyler. On Zach's side, Tua, corn rolls Tua. You might want to change his hair because he hasn't been doing much since
It's
the
a
corn
great game.
rolls. Mostert, though, did have a nice game, so Zach's hoping A-Chain stays out because Mostert did look good. Chase had an okay game, I guess, for who's throwing him the ball. Cooper, though, continues to be a rough spot for Zach as he's hurt. He doesn't have a quarterback. It just does not look good, which when he traded for him, we were a little bit questionable about trading for Cooper with the no quarterback and injury problems. Kittle had his first bad week in a long time, so that did not help Zach. Zay Flowers, though, he should have had a huge game last week if it wasn't for that penalty. And then this week, actually has a huge game, looked really good. That was like the bright spot for Zach's team. On Slaps' side, he had Herbert, mediocre game, but Pony Pollard again with another nice game, back-to-back weeks with the touchdown, of course, once I trade him away. Go figure. Mixon, though, did not look great. I don't know with this Bengals offense moving forward how that's going to look. St. Brown had a good game. Wilson had a nice bounce-back game after his pathetic one last week. And the rest was kind of just mediocre. But it was good enough this week against Zach to get the victory. Big one for Slaps. And we'll see if he can find his way into the playoffs and get a win this week, possibly. Anybody have any comments they want to make over this matchup?
I mean, like Mickey Mouse wins for slaps. You hate to see it.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Interesting. Okay. All right, and moving on to the final matchup of last week, it was the blockbuster one between Cheese and Rat in a big one. Both teams put up a good amount of points, but Rat's team was just better, 143 to 129. Big win for Rat to stay at pace in first place on points for barely at 8-4. Cheese falls to 5-7 now, so a very costly loss for Cheese. He is going to need to pick it up here. This upcoming week is almost a must-win for Cheese's team.
It
He had
is.
Prescott, though, was a huge bright spot for Cheese's team as he had 32 huge points. That trade looked decent. Kyron Williams, welcome back, 38 huge points. If he continues to do that, that's very good for Cheese. Gibbs, kind of just mediocre, 11. He just didn't get in the end zone. Other than that, it looked okay. CD did his normal thing. Puka Nacua, though, that Rams offense, it was a Tyler Higbee game out of nowhere. Cup didn't do
that
shit.
was-
Nakua didn't do shit. It was all Higbee. You hate to see that if you have one of those Rams receivers. Evan Ingram did okay. Sutton just did meh, didn't get a touchdown. And the Lions defense, 0 points. We continue to talk about Cheese's defense because he used to have the 49ers, and I believe didn't she even have the Cowboys at one time? And you
Yep.
traded them both away for the Lions defense, which, like you said, as you say, Cheese, they have a good playoff.
Yeah, but
schedule.
I gotta get there.
Yeah, that's my point. You got to get there first. Hold
let me
on.
talk
On Rat's side, 8-4, looking good. Mahomes
Yeah.
did his normal thing. James Cook, who he had to play, looked really decent. Could have even did better than that. Brees Hall kind of just average. Tyreek Hill did his normal big game. McLaurin on average. Kelsey, DJ Moore was really good, like we talked about earlier. And 49ers defense 15 points as well, chipped in. So a total pretty team performance for Rat's team. Rat, your comments after beating Cheese and looking pretty good. Basically locked to make the playoffs at this point. Now you're just going for the top seed.
Yeah, I'm just going for the points for and hoping to beat out Bill because I think that's the only one I'm
Uber
worried
close.
about right now.
Mhm.
If I can't beat out Bill, then I don't get the buy-off money.
Yeah.
And sending Cheese into the fantasy depression and
Ooh.
making him rage the last 48 hours have been
Yes.
the best thing this season.
I will say that night on Monday Night Football, I've never
Yeah.
heard somebody cry and complain so much when DJ Moore
That's
got
my-
the
that's my
points.
Thank you,
specialty.
Justin
Field.
Fields. Thank
I-
you, Justin
specialty.
Fields.
Yeah, that was rough. Cheese was
Yes.
definitely in some despair there
Yeah.
So
after that
GG
loss.
Cheese.
Look,
Okay,
we're back
Cheese.
on my team. It was just resetting to the first week, which I lost to Rat. That means
So
I'm
Rat
winning
got the
next week.
sweep on you, huh?
He did.
Ouch.
Look, as I say, my team puts up good performances. I face better teams. It
With
happens.
losses.
Okay.
Yeah, that's well.
Who said you're the most fraudulent team here? Shut the fuck up.
It's not your segment yet. Whoa. Just relax. Just relax. We're not
I
there
hope
yet.
that Matt takes you to the strip club and you get drug raped. Okay? Shut
Oh
the fuck
my
up.
Oh my god, holy fuck. What the fuck?
Yeah. Holy shit.
That might have been clipped in the morning.
Oh.
Holy God.
God damn.
We're gonna
God
be-
This
damn.
is on YouTube.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna get striked.
Columbia University.
Okay.
I'm graduating in 1 month. Shut the fuck up.
Okay, so having gone over the matchups, let's take a look at these standings. And God, are they a thing of beauty. Rat and Bill, as we said, tied for first place, both essentially locks for the playoffs at this point. 8-4, both have strong points for. Look at that difference in points for. 10 points. It's anybody's game for the bye between those two. These next 2 weeks, they're going to have to score a lot, both these teams, to see who gets that. Then we have these 7-5 teams, 2 of them. Zombie in third place, Matt in fourth. Both their points for nowhere near those top 2 teams, so it's only justice that they are below them in the standings at 7-5. Then we have the whole slew of 6 and 6s. Currently, if the playoffs started today, myself in the 5 seed based on points for. Pook in the 6 seed, and Slaps getting that final spot over Pussy at the moment at 6 and 6. So at the moment, 6 and 6, not good enough to get in a playoff spot as Pussy's in 8th based on points for. The good news for me is that chunk, pretty big chunk between me and Pussy on points for. So if we do end up tied for that final spot,
You're
possibly.
pretty locked in. You're pretty
Yeah,
locked
now I'm not locked in yet. If I lose both these games and are 6 and 8, then and they win, then
You
I'm
just
not
want
in.
to jinx people.
Yeah, you're just saying who's all in and who's all out. We still got 2 weeks left. Anything could
in.
happen.
Whatever I say, bad things happen.
That yeah.
Bad
So
things
shut your
happen.
fucking mouth up about talking about my team, you jinx. Then we have Ernie at 5 and 7, Cheese at 5 and 7. So at the moment, Ernie in 9th, Cheese in 10th. Then we have our 4 and 8s at Zach in 11th
It's getting
and
closer
Tyler.
than I thought.
That points for is not that huge of a gap. It's doable for Tyler if he can put together some strong performances. It's not quite over yet in that race for last place. Obviously, if either team wins, that's massive for them down the stretch here. I mean, anything can happen. I mean, even these 5 and 7 teams are not safe from last place. I mean, you look at their points for.
Even
Zach-
Pussy's kind of.
Yeah, I mean, if Pussy loses both and Zach wins both and Tyler wins both,
Yeah, that is true.
I mean, Pussy is a lower points for than both of them.
Let's slow
What?
it down.
We're just pointing out the facts. We're pointing out the
The
facts.
standings,
Okay.
everything after Golfer, I think, is very up to chance.
Okay. It's all up to
Except
chance,
for Zach.
but
Zach cannot make the playoffs.
Tyler's
Zach's team
defense will
sucks.
save him.
Jesus.
I mean, Zach's team can make the playoffs if he wins out and gets some help, his points for is a lot higher than some of
You
higher
need
than
all
some of
the
these
6 and
teams.
6 teams to like. The issue is 2 of the 6 and
Possible.
6 team plays. I mean, that's
Yes,
an issue, I
yeah.
guess.
I mean, there's still two other spots available.
Is it possible with the schedule? I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, we will see next week when we go over the scenarios.
Next week will
but
be a lot easier to figure out.
but I mean, there's a good chance 3 out of the 4 6 and 6 teams could lose this week. So
Wait,
I mean,
golfer.
anything
Wait.
could happen. What?
I'm looking at week 14. None of the current 6 and 16 teams play each other week 14.
Okay, so they could
the
all
chance
lose.
is there.
Yes,
Yeah, the chance
that's
is
what
there.
I'm saying. And 3 out of the 4 could lose this week. So
I'm
anything
ready
happens.
for the Zach comeback story.
Right, you gotta do what I do. Root for chaos.
The thing is, though, these two have to
right.
win out. So
Oh.
that's part of
That
it.
is
Yes,
true.
Pussy, what? Were you going to say something, Pussy?
No, it wasn't me.
Oh, okay. I thought someone was trying to
I
chime
think it
in.
was Ernie.
Okay, well, we're going to go over a little bit more of this when we go into this upcoming week because it's very interesting for some of these 5 and 7 teams, which we'll go over in a minute. Real quickly, looking at waivers for this past week, it was a decent activity week. There was a big fish out there. There's always one towards the end of the season that pops up,
What a
and so the
joke
people
of
that saved their money had a chance to
Jesus
get them.
fucking Christ.
Matt, $65 big dollars on Zach Moss, the new running back for the next couple
You
weeks
could've
with
saved
Taylor
that money,
out.
Man, you could have went to Aldi.
Could be a big pickup there, as you see. Clearly overpaid, as Puka only bid 5.
Oh my
Is it really
Might
an
have bunch of
overpayment
people.
though? With like
Oh,
I mean,
it's
it's
an
not an
overpayment.
overpay. Yeah, it's not an
It's an
overpay.
overpay.
I mean, he's
It's
got
an
a.
overpay.
He was
It's
probably
not
worried
an
about
overpay
Tyler
if
because
there's
Tyler
nothing else
had
to
money.
get.
Yeah,
Yeah, Tyler had.
Wow,
he was
but
probably.
that's
Was
not
that all of his
overpay.
money, or does he still have
Tyler
some left?
overpaid.
I
Tyler
think
didn't
that's all
even
of it.
get
I
a
think that's all
player.
of it.
Tyler got a defense.
Yeah, so he used it all. He
Who
probably
cares?
didn't have to use it all,
Look
but
at the
Needs to
injury
win,
thing.
basically.
At least Matt used it on
it's a good
starter,
addition.
not a
It's probably
defense.
worth the money. I mean, he looked very good at the start of the season when
I don't
Taylor
know why
wasn't
he was
there.
dropped.
So that's a question for Bill. He dropped
don't
him a
know why
couple
he was
weeks
dropped.
ago. I think Bill
Yeah.
just assumed that Taylor was going to be good to go for the rest of the season. I don't know why you would drop the cuff just in case
Yeah, he
injuries
popped
do
off
happen.
when Taylor was hurt.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a
This
question for
happens to
Bill in the
somebody
chat.
every
You can
year.
ask him. You can
This
ask him.
happens to somebody every
Then
year.
we had a bit of a head
This
scratcher,
year.
which I don't think I was hoping Tyler's when I added Tyler in the chat to clarify today. I was wanting some clarification on his thought process on this, and it didn't really make sense to me, so I didn't really get the clarification I was looking for. He bid $28 on 2 defenses, and they're not even that great of defenses. Chargers
No, they're
and
terrible.
Rams. So I'm assuming they have some okay matchups, which is maybe why he's going. He said in the chat that he bid on these defenses because he was worried Matt was going to get the defenses, and the 3-point difference between Matt's current defense and what these defenses are projected for is more of a bigger deal to Tyler than Zach Moss. Than Matt
Tyler
Habitat.
was drunk at the strip
I
club.
don't understand that at all. Zach Moss has way more potential to put up a huge game than the defenses do. The 3-point
I
difference.
will say, Matt with his busyness, he actually did the right move this time somehow. I
Yeah,
thought Matt
well,
was busy with his life. But
eh,
Tyler.
I-
well, I mean,
was like the one-
there was about 5 tweets yesterday about Jonathan Taylor in the chat, so it was hard for Matt to not see.
Yeah, but
what
Matt's
to
only
do.
active at 4 a.m.
Yeah, well, he saw it. He saw it at some
I
point.
mean, I don't get the Rams have some good matchups, I guess.
Well, no, this isn't.
don't know.
How
It's
he
just-
was
it's
saying
just
in
for
the
this
chat.
week.
Yeah, how he was saying in the chat was this wasn't a move to better his team. This was a move to try to cuck Matt's team, is what he said in the chat. But to me,
Buddy,
that doesn't make
But
any
okay,
sense
that-
because it's
I
a
don't know how many points
defense.
You're gaining from the
Well, according to Tyler, it's 3 points projected. So he's more worried about those 3 points projected than Zach Moss, which that's where I disagree. I think Zach Moss
and the Buddy's
has
in
potential
last
to do
place.
way better of a difference. But, Tyler goes on projections and on his Vegas odds. So,
But he wasn't gonna be able to get Moss, was he?
how
Oh
mu-
yeah, he has enough. He
He-
had enough.
does he still have
Oh, he
some
did
left
have
over?
enough?
He's like
How much
16
does he
left
have?
over. He's at the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
21
Yeah, he
left
has
over.
21 left, and
Yeah,
he put
20.
he put 56. So he could have easily outbid Matt for it. So, which is probably why Matt put all his money on it, because he was probably thinking Tyler was going to pick him up. But all right, moving on, we had Ernie making a move for a quarterback, $16 on my boy Russell. Is he gonna cook for you, Ernie, down the season in case Dobbs, the cancer patient, dies of cancer on the field like he did this
Jesus
past week?
Christ.
You have alopecia, not cancer.
If that
shame.
happens, it would not be a shame.
Oh.
I'm telling you.
Oh,
I
okay.
wouldn't be
So you're
sad.
kind of looking for a reason to start another quarterback. Is that what you're saying, basically?
Just like our boys, the Vikings, we are looking at other options. Dom is now looking.
Okay. All right. Pook picks up a defense against Seattle's defense for $5. Is this for down the road, or because you're
Yeah.
not starting them against the Cowboys? I don't think.
No, down the road.
Okay.
Ernie, how many quarterbacks did you start the season with?
He started with 2.
This is where we're
Trevor
at?
Lawrence and Burrow.
Yeah.
This is where we're at.
And they all ended up on my team at some point this season.
I also got ball Pook's wide receivers apparently.
Zombie picked up his boy Gerald Everett for the Chargers and dropped Kyle Pitts. Interesting. So Zombie has had enough of Kyle Pitts. The Kyle Pitts disappointment seasons just continue to roll year after year. I'm sure somebody will draft him next year as well. Zombie, any comments you'd like to make on that?
Yeah. Arthur Smith should be in jail, just like Josh Giddey.
Okay. All right.
That's funny.
Pussy picks up Roshan Johnson and drops Shaquille McLaughlin. All right, so he's
Yep.
seen enough of Shamaji P. Ryan to get rid of.
Yep.
He had a nice little run though there, McLaughlin did. So, all right. I picked up Curtis Samuel and dropped A.T. Perry. That's just kind of just a move because Samuel has looked decent last week. I'm not playing him unless some huge injuries happen. Tyler picks up a kicker. Obviously drops his -1 kicker. Picks up a kicker in Denver. That's definitely better. And Pussy picked up Jawan Johnson, the tight end, and dropped Conklin. Is what it is. Pussy, anything you want to comment on that, or are we going to move on?
Yeah, I hope my Goddard plays.
Oh, does he have a chance to actually come back this week?
Yes,
Yeah.
he's pushing
Ben.
to play this week.
Oh, okay. Well, you definitely need that, so that could be a big boost for you. Okay, so
Let's go
looking
Cheese.
ahead.
Yep.
Not yet. No, we got to look ahead to week 13. Then Cheese will get his segment at the end.
I thought we were doing after the standings.
No. All right, looking ahead then to a uber important week 13 for who's going to get into the playoffs. There's only 2 weeks left, so it's make it or break it time in the season with this close of standings. Anything can happen. We will start at the top. My matchup versus Rat. At the moment, Sleeper projecting Rat for a pretty comfortable win, 119 to 100. Me and Rat, interesting, both have a couple bye issues as my tight end is on bye and Jacobs is on bye. Rat also has a couple players on bye with James Cook, DJ Moore on bye, so some interesting matchups here with byes. But he does have his Chiefs stack still. So he has the Chiefs stack against Green Bay on Sunday night, Mahomes and Kelsey. Achane, if he is truly I'm back against Washington, that's a pretty good matchup if he's back and fully healthy. Hopefully it's a similar situation to a couple weeks ago where he came back and then was out instantly. Breece Hall against Atlanta. As we said, Tyreek Hill against Washington. He's going to drop 25 plus. I'm just begging the world, Miami, can you just blow them out? And then he gets he gets his 25, and then he just sits the second half. Just don't get 40. 25 I can live with. Terry McLaurin as well in that Miami game. So if that's a shootout game, that's going to be big for Rat. Noah Brown in there after his couple injuries. Best OSU wide receiver in the NFL. That is false. You need to get rid of that. He is not the best, but he is decent. He's come on. Against Denver, we'll see how he plays coming back from injury. Aubrey on Thursday night, so he does have a Thursday night player against Seattle. And the Jets defense against Atlanta. Come on, Bijan Robinson. Run all over that Jets defense and make them go negative. On my side, Trevor Lawrence on Monday night, so I have another Monday night player. Yippee, hooray me. Kareem Hunt with Jacobs on bye. We'll roll him unless he's injured and out. We'll see. Zach Charbonnet in there tomorrow night, so I also have a Thursday night player. Just what I love, Thursday and Monday night players. Against Dallas, tough matchup, but Jacobs on bye. We got to roll with it. Hopefully he can get some checkdowns. If he gets 10 points like he got last week, I'll be happy. Calvin Ridley on Monday night as well. Hopefully that Lawrence to Ridley connection continues. DK Metcalf tomorrow night against Dallas. Tough matchup. Hopefully DK can get a touchdown. Pat Freiermuth after his massive week last week. Hopefully he can continue that against Arizona. And Devontae Smith against the 49ers. Tougher matchup, but it's Devontae Smith. Hopefully he can keep going. Elliott as well against 49ers. And Jacksonville's defense against Cincinnati on Monday night with their quarterback problems. Hopefully I'll get some good points there. Obviously, I am a big underdog in this game just based off of Rat's lineup and who he has with his Hill and his Kelsey and his Mahomes. I'm going to just predict myself to win. Obviously, it's going to be tough. Just like last week, it did not look great. It's probably not going to look great after tomorrow night's game. But somehow, some way, my team just needs to find a way. Lawrence and Ridley pop off. Metcalf maybe pop off. Fryermuth have another 20-plus points. And Devontae Smith another 20-plus points. And then get lucky with some of Rat's players shitting the bed. Like I said, maybe Achane gets hurt right away. And somehow I get a little lucky and fortunate. All right. Cheese, who's winning this matchup?
Golfer is winning this matchup.
Wow. Okay.
All of Rad's team is questionable.
I mean,
Look,
they got the tag, but I don't. Is any of
Reese
them
has
really?
a hamstring injury,
Okay.
so that's not good.
I mean, maybe Noah Brown.
Noah Brown also hurt.
Hill's gonna play.
Hill's gonna play. I think that Rat will have some of his running backs get very low point totals, and Golfer will put up a strong total and take it home.
Really? Okay, interesting. Let's see. Pook, who's winning this matchup?
Rat is winning.
Okay. Pussy.
Rat's gonna win.
Okay. Zombie.
You don't even have to ask this fucking guy. Skip. You
I'm
already know what he's
going
saying.
with
My
boy.
Whoa.
Oh,
He said my boy
wait.
Rat.
Whoa. The first time all year.
Yeah, he's picking you. Congrats. All right. Who am I missing? Ernie. Is there Ernie? Okay.
There will not be close.
Okay.
He might lose by 40.
Who?
Chain's not playing, so that's why I dropped Zeke. So Rat, go pick up Zeke. And yeah, you're not winning.
Okay, so I'm gonna lose by 40 is your prediction. All right.
And in week 2,
Yep.
Golfer to beat Rat.
I did. That was when my team was strong.
124.
Yes, we had a high-scoring matchup. I remember that one. That was a good win for my team that week. But my team has changed a lot since then. So
You're not dropping 100 points.
Oh, okay. Well, you might have to bet on that, Ernie. All right.
Underdogs.
A lot of talk from your team. All right, and Rad, are you getting the dub or are you going to collapse? This is similar to the, not quite as bad as when you played Ernie, because Ernie's team that week was a lot worse.
Way better than Ernie's
yeah, it's
team.
way better. But you are a heavy favorite. And Ernie just said you're going to beat me by 40, so you're a heavy favorite. Are you going to collapse again?
I'm beating you by like 30 plus. Yeah.
Oh,
Tyreek Hill's
okay.
going to put up 40 plus.
All right.
Achane will be back. It's about to be like a Denver Broncos Dolphins type of game, so that's going to be a lot of points right there. The Chiefs stack in a nighttime game. Let's hope the Swifty comes and hangs out for Kelsey, and we win the game. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm hoping Kelsey has his girlfriend show up.
Yep.
Apparently he doesn't want to play good when she's not there, but
she's busy on tour.
Isn't she on a tour? Yeah, so no.
Well,
She's in South America.
That's good. She can stay there. She can stay there.
Wow.
All right, moving on to the next matchup of the week, and this is a big one. Matt at 7-5 versus Tyler at 4-8. If Matt wins, then he is obviously a lock to get in. He's probably still going to get in anyways, but we'll see. Tyler trying to avoid that last place. If he could get a win this week, that would be massive. At the moment, Sleeper thinks he's going to do it. 108 to 96, low projections. But Matt does have some bye issues. So Matt has Kyler Murray in there against Pittsburgh. Najee Harris back in the lineup after his big game against Arizona. Pacheco coming off his big game against Green Bay. Adam Thielen in there at wide receiver. Rasheen Rice after his big game in there at wide receiver. Njoku in the tight end spot against the Rams. Zach Moss against Tennessee, so that's a good pickup for him to put in the flex. Bucker against Green Bay, and Denver's defense against C.J. Stroud. I don't know about that. He's obviously got Fields on bye. He's got both his star wide receivers, Adams and Diggs, on bye, and Kmet. So very interesting there with the bye things, but still a pretty decent lineup that Matt's able to get with that Zach Moss pickup. On Tyler's side, Jared Goff in there against the Saints is, what's this? Oh yeah, Lamar's on a bye, so all right, rolling with Goff against the Saints. Eckler in there against the Patriots. What Eckler will we get? Patriots usually like to try to stop your best player in the Chargers offense. We'll see how he does. Stevenson in there after his big game against the Chargers as well, so he's got both running backs in that game. Godwin against Carolina. Hopkins against the Colts, McBride against Pittsburgh, Henry in there against the Colts, Lutz, who he picked up against Houston, and Tampa Bay's defense against that Carolina offense. I think this one's going to be close, although I do think it's going to be a lower scoring, like around 100-point type matchup. I am going to take Matt to get the win. I think Matt made some good moves this week. Usually Matt takes forever to make his moves, but this week he made them a little bit earlier, and I think he did a good thing picking up Zach Moss to help his lineup this week. I think both his running backs are coming off of some good games, and I think they have another strong couple games out of them, and I think it just does better than Tyler's team. So I'm going to take Matt to get the big victory and Tyler to fall. Cheese, who's winning this matchup?
This is gonna be the toilet bowl of the week.
Ooh, okay.
Tyler will defeat Matt 70-60 or something like that. Something shitty.
70-60.
It's
That
gonna be low
low?
score. It's gonna be
I don't
pretty
think
low.
it's going to be that low.
Look. Pacheco is gonna disappoint after that big week.
Okay.
Elan's useless now. Rashee Rice is gonna be bad. Njoku's gonna
Interesting.
disappoint. There's a lot of opportunities. I think Tyler's more Tyler can put up a lot of points, but he'll get to 100
Okay.
ish.
So the
that'll be
race
enough.
to 100. You're saying whoever
I
gets
think it's
to
gonna be,
100
yeah,
wins.
race to 100. I think
Wow.
it's gonna be very low scoring.
Okay. Interesting. Rat, who's winning this?
I'm gonna say Matt wins by 1 point.
By 1 point. Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Pook.
I think Tyler will keep his season alive
Ooh.
just barely.
Okay. Wow. Good prediction there. Obviously, this, like I said, is a big one for Matt because if he wins, he's basically in, and he doesn't have that chance of choking to points for tiebreaker type stuff. If he loses it, that's a possibility. Let's see. Pussy, who's winning?
I'm gonna pick the guy that's got his life together. I'm gonna pick Tyler in
I knew that was coming.
a big win.
Okay. You should have picked Matt as reverse psychology because you picked yourself last week against Matt, and that didn't work out. So.
Matt did win the first matchup, 122 to 107.
Okay, yeah.
Matt also had his whole fucking team playing.
Yeah, did have
No, I won the.
Hey,
Oh,
big
oh,
wide
I beat
receivers are
Matt
out.
the first time. I see what you mean. You're talking about talent then.
Yeah, these are revenge games at this point of the season. All right, Zombie, who's winning?
Tyler.
Tyler. Okay.
Wow, he didn't say my boy.
Uh,
It's the first
all
time.
right, and Ernie, are you gonna FFF and take Matt, or are you going to take Tyler?
I would like for Matt to win, make the last place more interesting, but he's gonna get out. He's not gonna hit 100 points.
Who's not hitting 100 points, Matt?
Matt.
Okay. When
Oh,
you
man.
say when you say make the last
Last
place
place.
more interesting, you just mean make it so you don't get last place?
No, because I'm gonna beat Zach, so Zach's gonna
Oh.
be down there.
Okay, so you just want Tyler to lose to stay down.
I would like for him to stay down there, but yeah.
Because in my opinion, if Tyler wins, that just makes it more interesting because then it adds you and Cheese into the possible mix.
Buddy, I'm winning. I'm not worried.
Okay.
I'm not worried either.
Oh, okay, interesting. We'll get to that. All right, so there we have it. Moving on to the next matchup. Another big one here for Pussy. He comes off that disappointing loss to Matt and then has to face one of the best teams in the league, Bill, at 8-4. Tough schedule for me and Pussy after getting to 6-6. Then we both have to face the
Yeah,
top
nice
teams this
score
week.
line.
Bill right now predicted to win just barely though, 107 to 105. Bill does have some bye problems and some injury problems, so that could give Pussy a chance here in this matchup. Obviously, Josh Allen on bye, so he has Baker Mayfield going against Carolina. Decent matchup for Baker, so not a horrible play. David Montgomery against the Saints. Now that he has his running back out, I can't think of the name. Taylor is out, so he's got to play Montgomery. That's a good thing for Bill to have a third strong running back. That way, with Taylor out, he can slide him in. Kamara against Detroit. Keenan Allen against the Patriots. Michael Pittman in there against Tennessee. Cade Otton with no Kincaid. He's starting Cade out, so he's going from his Bills quarterback to tight end connection to Baker to Cade Otton connection. We'll see if it's that week. Cade Otton's had a couple big games, but then he's also had a couple bad games. So we'll see what type of week it is. Against Carolina should do good. Jalen Waddle in there against Washington. Sanders, the kicker for Miami, against Washington as well. Should be decent. And Tennessee's defense against the Colts. Interesting. So he's got Pittman in there, but he's rolling with the Tennessee to shut down the Colts offense with no Taylor. On Pussy's side, he's got Purdy in there against the Eagles. Big time matchup, best matchup of the week. Eagles versus 49ers, huge game. We'll see how Purdy plays coming off that mediocre week last week. Etienne on Monday night against the Bengals. We'll see. Pussy already predicted Etienne to be back. We'll see if he's back this week. Gervonta Williams against Houston. Ayuk as well against the Eagles. So he needs a Purdy to Ayuk connection. Tank Dell in there against the Broncos as well. So that Philly game is big for Pussy's team, and that Houston-Denver game is big for Pussy as well. Goddard in there, assuming he plays against the 49ers as well. Welcome back from your injury, and you got to face the 49ers. That's going to be a tough one, but we'll see if he gets in there. Jalen Reed, who's looking pretty good the last few weeks on Sunday night against Kansas City. Moody in there against the Eagles as well. And the Dallas defense tomorrow night against Seattle. Seattle's been struggling on offense. Should be a decent matchup there for Dallas with their turnovers, and Geno's turnover prone. I can see why Sleeper has this a close scoring matchup. I think it will be close. I think it's going to come down to which running backs perform better in this matchup, and I'm going to give the slight edge to Bill's running backs. So I'm going to take Bill despite some of his bye problems. I think he survives and gets like a 115 to 110 victory. I think Pussy's team does better than last week, but I don't think they do a huge game, and I think Pussy will still this week to Bill, just barely though, in a close game. Geez, who's winning?
As I say every week, Bill's keeping it going.
Okay.
Puso's fraudulent team is on the downfall.
Okay.
Even with the bye troubles, Kamara gets dumped off to 80 billion times a game, so he's fine.
Okay. Rat.
This is not to be biased to keep my 1 seed, but I actually think Bill is going to lose this game.
Wow. Okay.
I don't think the Baker and Cade work.
Even
like
against
Pusa's
Carolina?
matchups a lot.
Carolina is the worst team in the league.
I like Pusa's matchups a lot.
Okay.
It's going to be A.J. Brown versus Ayuk. I like
Whoa,
Etienne.
you mean Devontae Smith against
No,
Ayuk.
it's an A.J. Brown this game.
Whoa. Wow.
I forgot to say that. That's the reason why.
Okay.
Yeah, I do like Pusa's matchups on every side of on all of his players. So yeah.
Okay, interesting.
I think he pulls out.
Pook, who's winning?
I think Bill will win, because if Baker doesn't do well, then Mike Evans won't do well, and I am fucked.
Oh. Okay. All right. Zombie.
I think Bill's gonna win.
Okay. Ernie.
I think we lost him.
Bill will win by 30.
Bill will win by 30. Well, wow.
Damn.
Ernie with some strong predictions, some blowouts this week. Ernie's predicting. Interesting. All right, and Pussy, are you going to slay the King and Bill's team this week and get an important win after last week's collapse?
I just am so glad that everybody just didn't pick me because that's how
That's
it's
not
been all
true.
season.
A couple people picked you.
So my team's been shit on all season, and it's proven people wrong. But anyway,
Here we
Bill's
go.
team.
We're going back to that. I mean, they proved it. As soon as we gave you some credit last week, it reverted back on us to make us look stupid. So why would we continue to give it praise?
But I believe in the 49ers, so we'll see.
Okay. You think they win that game?
Yeah, I do.
Oh,
I think
okay.
49ers are gonna beat the Eagles.
Wow. All right.
Okay.
But
Would you like to bet? Would you like to bet?
yeah, probably I will.
Oh.
Okay.
I am nervous for that game. The way we
Oh,
went.
you're nervous.
I will
Whoa.
say that. I
What?
think we
You
can
think
lose.
they're gonna lose?
The
I
Eagles
like
have
that.
played like shit to start a game. Yes, I need to see them actually play.
I will
fucking
say,
good to start the game.
with my comment on Bill's team, I
Yes.
think that Montgomery's probably going to be in a little bit of trouble. I think Gibbs is going to get more of the touchdown carries.
Okay.
Kamara's going to go off. like
Yeah.
normal. Allen's gonna go off, so I mean, my team's gonna have to fight.
Yeah, you're gonna have to score. But if you get a bounce back from Etienne, that might help you. And your 49ers, like you
Yeah.
predicted.
I think Williams is gonna score a touchdown. Like, what the fuck, man?
Okay.
Devontae, come on.
All right. All right, interesting. All right, moving on to the next matchup, and I'm going to call this one the matchup of the week. Not only
Wow.
because of the two teams involved, but because of how big this could be for the battle in last place. If Zach can somehow get a victory, not only does that jump him out of that tie for last place, most likely if Tyler loses, but it could send Ernie into a battle for last place with Tyler. Potentially, if Tyler wins in that matchup, we already talked about, it's a winnable type matchup this week for Tyler. And then Zach with a winnable one here with Ernie's bye team, it could cause some problems possibly. So right now, Sleeper projecting Ernie though to pull out a win, 95-91. Did Zach fix his lineup or no? He still has Flowers and Carlson. So once he fixes that, Zach will be the favorite according to Sleeper. Zach has Tua in there against Washington. Should be a great matchup as we already talked about. Rachaad White against Carolina. That could also be a very good matchup. Mostert in there against Washington should be good. We'll see how much odd chain is used compared to Mostert. Jamar Chase in there on Monday night against Jacksonville. Amari Cooper, assuming he plays against the Rams. Kittle in there on that big matchup against the Eagles. We'll see if Kittle has a bounce back after his bad week last week. And then who is he playing in the flex? He's got Singletary against Denver.
Singletary.
And that's it, because Michael Thomas is out, and I don't think he's going to play Lazard. So it's looking like Singletary against Denver in the flex, and he'll have to pick up a kicker as his boy Carlson's on bye. And he's got the Chiefs against Green Bay on Sunday night. On Ernie's side, Ernie, obviously, real quick before we go over his team, look at his bench. All buys. He's got Dobbs on bye, Edwards, Gus Bus on bye, Odell on bye, his boy JJ on bye, Addison, the other boy on bye, and his kicker Tucker on bye. So Ernie puts together a lineup of Stafford against Cleveland. Very tough defense. But we'll see if Stafford can keep it rolling to Higbee and throw some touchdowns. McCaffrey in that big game against the Eagles. It's McCaffrey. He'll do his normal thing. James Conner against Pittsburgh. We'll see if Conner can get into the end zone. He hasn't been able to since come back. He's looked okay, but just hasn't got the touchdown. Romeo Doubs against the Chiefs on Sunday night. Jackson Smith and Jigba tomorrow night to get him started against Dallas. We'll see if the Seahawks can show up on offense. Laporta, after his nice game last week against the Saints, should be okay. And then Tyler Boyd in the flex on Monday night against Jacksonville. Yikes. With no quarterback. Boswell against Arizona, and the Eagles defense against the 49ers. Okay. So some interesting matchups for Ernie. I mean, obviously, with all his buys, like we talked about, there's going to be some players that you would not like to start, but he's got to start them this week. Let's see. Ernie predicted me to get blown out by 40, so part of me just wants to pick Zach just alone on that. I like Zach's running back matchups this week, assuming Chain doesn't just get all the carries. The problem is Zach's receivers. I don't like any of Zach's receivers, and even though Ernie's are makeshift, Ernie's receivers could outscore Zach's receivers this week. Both tight ends are good. You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to predict a tie because I don't know who's going to win. So a tie, just to keep them all down there towards the bottom. I'll predict a tie this week in this matchup. Cheese, who's winning this matchup?
I wish I could play teams like this.
This segment is gonna be great.
It's gonna be so good. I think Zach actually pulls it out.
Wow. Okay.
Just because Stafford, they're just gonna feed Kyron essentially.
Okay.
And then James Conner has been really mid recently.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler Boyd is not gonna help. If fucking what's his face?
Higgins.
If Chase gets 12 points, how many points is Boyd getting?
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. I mean, he needs that quarterback to improve.
Philly defense, that could be a disaster class.
Yeah, if it's a high-scoring game. Okay.
I think Singletary is a good play for Zach. I think Kittle's a decent play. Mostert's a decent play. Once again, this will be incredibly low scoring.
Okay.
A bunch of bums, but I think Zach pulls it out.
Yep. Yeah, I think Like I said, I think Zach also has a huge upgrade at quarterback with Tua against Washington. Tua kind of had a down week. Probably going to have a nice game against Washington. That could be a big difference as well. You know what? Fuck it. Just because I forgot about the Tua thing compared to Stafford, I'm going to predict Zach wins as well in a close game. Rat.
So the last time we said this about Ernest QBs, I think Stafford could put up a worse performance than Dobbs did last week.
Yeah.
So if Ernie switches to Wilson, I think Ernie pulls it out.
Interesting.
But
Okay.
at the moment, it's going to be a very low-scoring week for both of them.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say Zach.
Okay. Is this lineup giving you any
I don't know if
CT
it's the exact
flashbacks
lineup.
of when
Where's
you
Russell
faced
Wil-
Ernie?
It's
pretty bad.
actually better than I think.
Oh, well, that's worse for
It's-
you then.
I faced the worst lineup possible ever.
In fantasy history, and you
Yeah.
lost. Yikes.
I lost.
Oh
But
boy.
I'm just saying,
Okay.
you might not want to listen to the quarterback change, but I don't like Stafford versus Cleveland, and that's what's gonna. I
Okay.
don't know. That's the play.
That's good advice. I think Wilson has potential to do definitely better. But okay. Pook, who's winning?
I think Zach is gonna win because the Eagles are gonna shut down Christian McCaffrey. He's not gonna
Wow.
do jack shit.
Oh my God. Okay,
And
so
the Eagles
big
are gonna win by
Bijan game,
20.
huh?
I don't give a fuck about Bijan. I just care about the Eagles winning.
Well, I'm talking about your bet.
Eagles are fraudulent.
Okay.
Chief, shut the fuck up.
Jeez, we didn't make a second about that.
How are you calling them fraudulent?
You're a
Because
Giants
they get
fan.
Mickey Mouse wins.
Buddy, they beat some good teams.
They
You can't
win
call
when
them
it
fraudulent at
matters.
this
Okay,
point
can
of
we
the
go
season.
to zombie now?
Okay. Wow, right? You don't want to talk about your Eagles, huh? You're
No,
worried this
it's-
week.
I'm not.
I sense
no,
some
I'm not
worriness.
worried. It's just
I sense some worriness.
We need to shut the fuck them up. That's what we have to play good. We come out like last week, we lose.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
All right, Zombie, who's getting this win?
Wait, who is it? It's Ernie, right?
Jesus, it's Ernie versus Zach.
I'm going with my boy Ernie.
Wow. Okay, nice. All right. The floor is yours, Ernie. You said earlier you're going to beat Zach, and you're not worried. Go ahead. How are you going to do it?
Look, I think it was Brad who said I shouldn't start Russell, but Miles Garrett is out, so I'm not worried about that bum defense anymore.
Oh, okay.
They're going to keep Aaron get out.
All right,
I
so you're
think
going to
it's-
keep Stafford in there. All right.
No, I'm going to start Russell. I haven't checked my lineup yet.
Oh, you're
There's
going
also an
Okay.
audible that has not been taken into consideration. There is a
Well, you
deal
only have
pending.
one startable player on your bench,
There's a-
so what's...
there is a deal pending at the moment. I already told Zach if he lets me win, he will get a certain picture of a certain individual.
Okay,
Like you.
and you will be kicked for that, so you better hope that
No.
deal doesn't go through. I don't know why you would announce that publicly on the stream, so now we all know.
Jesus Christ.
That seems a little stupid on your part, but
There are some
I also
times-
don't listen to me, Ernie. Do what you think's
I am not
best
gonna
for the
listen to
quarterback.
you. I'm gonna win. Jamar Chase ain't gonna get shit with his bum quarterback, so I should
I do
win.
agree with that.
okay. All right, very optimistic there. So just out of curiosity, how is, let's say Zach takes this deal, how exactly is Zach going to throw to get you the win? He can only do so much. Like what?
I don't know if you
Sorry.
know, but Zach is a professional referee.
hmm
He might get hired to ref one of those games. I'll get a few flags here and there in my favor.
Oh, well, okay. Well, he refs soccer, not football, but okay.
As of last week, he refs NFL.
Okay. All right. Well, real quickly though, Ernie, let's say you do somehow, by all grace of God, lose to Zach this week, and let's say Tyler wins, and you're staring last place in the face going into the final week of the season, which I believe you do play Tyler in the final week of the season, so it would come all down.
Wait,
Oh wait, no, Tyler plays pussy.
Yeah.
Who do you play?
You
Slaps.
play slaps.
Oh, you play
Oh, no.
Slaps. Oh, so
Oh, God.
Slaps could send you to last place.
Or
Ooh.
Ernie could take Slaps out the playoffs. Lots could happen.
Maybe. Depends what happens. But let's say, though, Zach does beat you this week. What is your
case
panic
scenario-
on last place going to be?
Worst case scenario, if I lose, I'm uninstalling Sleeper. Fantasy Cat. I might bust the wolf.
You might would do what?
I'm gonna bust the wolf.
Oh, Wolf. So you're
Yeah.
gonna drop some N bombs or?
We're never gonna hear from him again.
I'm gonna go at it with that, and it's gonna get very bad.
Wow.
Danny,
Okay.
can I ask you something? What is the stars in your name? Can you say it on
What?
the show?
He's
Are you allowed to,
what?
are you allowed to say that on the show?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ernie, what is your name?
I mean, we already fucking said worse shit earlier. Cheese did.
Oh, that's true. Jeez, what the fuck is wrong
Golfer
with you?
doesn't monetize this shit.
What?
Oh.
And that's okay, Chief?
Just out of curiosity, did Sleeper not let you use that word in the team?
I didn't try.
Or
I
you
just
didn't
put
even try?
unbeatable.
Okay. All right. Well, good luck to you this week, Ernie. I sincerely mean that. Good luck to you. I would hate to see you in that battle for last place. All right, moving.
wait.
Go ahead.
What's the hypothetically? What's the buyout for last place?
We were if you don't want to do the punishment, you mean?
No buyout. It's
Yes. No, there's buyout 250.
250.
Yep. And the
That
250
is a
would
fair
be
buyout.
the 250 would be split between everybody that beat you this season to cause you to be in last place.
Buy-in.
Huh? What?
You still wasn't gonna be more than the buy-in.
No, I never said that. It has to be
there's
more.
no show. I
It has
get
to be
it, 'cause,
more than
like,
the buy-in. What do you
Ernie,
mean?
you're that afraid of spicy ramen?
It has to be severe if you're gonna. The whole point of the added punishment was you do the added punishment.
You could go back. You guys said it was gonna be more than because it's gonna be
Oh my
this
god,
and that.
just buy the $10
No,
spicy ramen.
I never said it was not gonna be more than the buy-in. It was always gonna be more than the buy-in.
And then also, can we
If
get
you're
the
going to
confirmation-
avoid the punishment, you have to pay the price. What?
Can we get confirmation that the punishment must be streamed on Discord?
Yes, that was already part of it. You have to
the
eat the
punishment
bowl of
forever.
hot ramen on
Or
the
the one
Discord.
chip
Wait,
challenge,
it's
right?
yeah, I thought one chip challenge was a
Oh,
possibility.
it's
it's
okay. You
either.
get your choice between the ramen or the one chip challenge. This
And then isn't there another
Sucks
one?
to suck this
no,
up.
it's just those two.
No, it's just
It's just those two. It's
And you
those.
get
I mean,
You get your choice of one of
and-
those, or
and-
you can take the
And you gotta pay
$250.
$100
What?
on me on top of it? Oh, brother,
Pusa,
that's
shut
gotta
the
be
fuck
painful.
up.
That's gotta be painful.
Oh.
Pusa, you got a better chance of not making up with you than me paying that.
Oh, I don't know if Pussy wants that, but
Hot
I don't
ramen
wanna
doesn't
get
sound
robbed.
bad.
Alright, golfer, keep
Alright.
moving.
all right. Moving on
cheese.
to
We'll get to
another
segment.
matchup of the week. This is kind of the co-matchup of the week. This is basically almost a win and you're in type of scenario at this point.
That's right.
Both teams 6-6. The winner is looking in extremely good position to get one of those playoff spots. The loser is, depending on what happens with the other 6-6s, might not be in the playoff spot. We have Slaps versus Pook. At the moment, Sleeper projecting Slaps to have a victory 108-101. Slaps has Herbert against the Patriots. Tony Pollard tomorrow night to get him started against Seattle. Pollard's been hot the last 2 weeks. We'll see what he does against Seattle. Mixon on Monday night, so he's got Thursday and Monday night players against Jacksonville. Amon-Ra St. Brown against the Saints. Garrett Wilson against Atlanta. Ferguson tomorrow night as well, so 2 Thursday night players. Kirk on Monday night, so 2 Monday night players as well. Hopkins against the Rams. Pittsburgh's defense against Arizona should be decent. On Pook's side, he's got the best Ohio State quarterback over, MVP of the season, CJ Stroud against Denver. Should be another nice game for him. Big game, Bijan Robinson after last week, facing the Jets this week. A.J. Dillon in there against Kansas City on Sunday night. Joshua Downs in there against Tennessee. Mike Evans after his huge game against Carolina. Good matchup there. Schultz as well against Denver, so the Stroud to Schultz combo. Chris Olave, good sign for him that he was practicing, so with the concussion, looks most likely like he'll be all right to go against Detroit. He's been coming on the last few weeks. Matt Gay against Tennessee, and the Miami defense against Washington. Miami could either dominate this game, or it could be a sneaky little shootout between Hall and Tua. We'll see which way it goes. I like Pook's matchups better. I like the majority of Pook's players this week to have some good games. And let's just be honest, I love Stroud. So I'm going to take Pook to get the victory. Herbert's good, but the Patriots just somehow always trying to find a way to muck up a game and make it ugly. And I don't know what you're going to get out of Mixon in that Bengals offense. And maybe Pollard regresses a little and doesn't get a touchdown for the 3rd straight week. So I'm going to take Pook to get a victory by about 10 to 15 points And after all, I mean, just about 3-4 weeks ago, we were considering Pook to have a chance to be in dead last if he lost. And what a turnaround these last few weeks as his lineup has come alive, and it has helped him make this push and I think, gets the win to get himself almost cemented for the playoff spot this week. Cheese, who's winning?
I'm taking Pook.
Okay.
Stroud's gonna pop off. The Chargers are gonna charge. Be shit like they always are. Bijan has finally found his groove. Downs, Evans, his team's coming alive when it matters.
Yep.
I think this will be a actually high-scoring matchup.
Okay.
I think Pook will pull it out.
All
barely.
right. Rat, who's winning?
They're fucking up the standings, and there will be a tie.
Ooh, that would throw a big wrinkle into the standings. Interesting. What a time for our first ever tie as well.
Yeah.
That would be huge.
The two best
Actually,
teams.
that might be good for both these teams if they had a tie, because if me and Pussy with our tough matchups lose, then that keeps them both right where they're at. Interesting. Let's see. Zombie, who's winning?
I'm going with my boy Pook.
Wow, that's 2 weeks in a row you've called him my boy Pook and picked him. Wow, I thought you never picked Pook to win. Interesting. Pussy.
Oh, I hate to say this.
Yeah, you hate this matchup, don't you? Because somebody's most likely jumping us.
Your two favorite best people.
Slaps is just gonna win. Gonna win and make the playoffs.
Wow,
Wow.
that's a that's a big prediction out of you, because you hate on Slaps all the time. That'd be 2 years in a row that he's made the playoffs, by the way.
Oh,
If he
it's
gets this
painful.
win. And if you don't make the playoffs, good luck. Ooh, you have to face Slaps shitting on you. Ooh, do you have a bet with Slaps?
I think it's $20.
Oh, oof.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Ernie, who's winning this one?
What's the matchup?
Pook versus Slaps in the battle of 6 and 6s. Playoff spot.
Fuck Pook slaps.
Okay, I figured that was going to happen.
I don't know. A tie. Fucking both.
A tie.
I'll give it both
Uh-huh.
to you. I
Okay.
don't know.
A
Who
tie.
has the trick?
They're both 6 and 6. Whoever wins is probably
I
in
have
the
more.
playoffs.
I have more points.
Yeah, Pook, because he has 4 points, I think, more than me. So Pook lose.
Okay,
And
interesting.
make his guys win.
All right, Pook, are you going to get this huge victory this week?
I will win.
You will win. Okay.
The last time the Chargers faced the Patriots, Justin Herbert put up a total of 0 points.
Did he get hurt?
No, the team was lost 38-0.
Oh, okay.
Was Tom Brady playing?
Your charge for that
No,
bad?
that was with Mac Jones.
God damn, Zombie.
That was
Jesus.
not the last time they played.
Fact checked him. I don't know. Actually,
Oh, someone fact check.
he's Asian.
Zombie's right here. He can talk about
Oh,
doing fucking
sorry, it was
good team.
this 2 times ago. They lost 45-0.
Oh, there you
Did they lose this last time?
Oh, they lost to Cam Newton. They didn't lose to Mac Jones. They lost to Cam Newton.
Oof.
They did lose the last time though. They lost 27.
Damn, Zombie, your team's that fucking ass.
They haven't beaten the Patriots since 2008.
It,
when they were in San Diego.
side note, Zombie, is
I like
this the
the
week
part
that
of
the guy gets fired if they lose?
They lose
Surely,
to the
right?
Patriots, they should.
Yeah, surely, right? With how bad
So
the
Zombie, are you
Patriots are.
hoping for the Chargers to lose this week?
I mean, might as well if you want the coach gone. You're not going anywhere.
It
Even
would
if
help
you-
the draft position, yeah.
Damn, we're so far down. It's now about draft position.
So this is
Damn.
from Super Bowl to
Yeah,
draft
right.
position,
Oh
no
my
matter-
God.
Well,
Damn.
they never said Super Bowl
Yeah,
once.
you didn't say Super Bowl, but you were saying playoffs.
Side note, the Giants and the Chargers have the same amount of wins.
And
note,
also,
let's
side
go.
note, guess who has
That's
more
good
wins
for
than
you.
both of them? The Broncos.
That's right.
After giving up 70 points in a single
Go
week.
Birds.
Okay, we're talking about mediocre / ass teams. Not you don't need to bring your birds.
All right,
into
let's go
this.
with the best matchup of the week.
Okay, Pook, did you have anything else you want to say, or you're gone?
Nope.
Okay. All right, moving on to the final matchup of the week, and this is almost a must-win for Cheese if he wants to have any shot of getting into the playoffs. He is facing Zombie, coming off a loss this past week to me at 7-5. Zombie not safe just yet to make the playoffs. He's got some work to do still. He should be okay, but if he ends up 7-7 with his points for not being the best, could get a little sketchy. So a win this week for Zombie would lock it up. A win for Cheese would keep him alive, so it's a big one there. Right now, Sleeper projected Cheese to win 120-112 over Zombie. Cheese has Dak Prescott tomorrow night to get him started, so a big game tomorrow night for Cheese. Huge game from Kyron Williams last week. Does he back it up this week against Cleveland's defense? A little tougher defense. We'll see how he does. Gibbs in there against the Saints. CeeDee Lamb tomorrow night as well. So Cheese needs a really good start from that Cowboys combo. Puka Nacua against Cleveland as well. So he's got the two Rams as well. Not the greatest of matchup. Ingram against Cincinnati on Monday night, so he's got a Monday night player as well. Sutton against Houston could be sneaky good. Sutton's been coming on a little bit here lately, and if that game is a little bit higher scoring, could be good. Dicker, the kicker, against the Patriots, and Atlanta's defense against those New York Jets and that high-powered offense. Good matchup there. On Zombie side, he's got his Eagle stack in that big game against the 49ers. So what's it going to be this week for Zombie's Eagle stack? Is two of them going to pop off? Is all three of them going to pop off? Is only one of them going to have a good game against the 49ers? Who knows what happens in that type of game, if it's a high score or a low score, and that could fuck Zombie. Warren against Arizona should be pretty decent, assuming he gets the workload. Like we said, Swift and A.J. Brown. Cooper Kupp against Cleveland. Tough matchup coming off a bad game. We'll see if he can bounce back. Everett, his pickup on the waivers against the Patriots. Deebo Samuel as well in that Eagles game. Brandon McManus on Monday night, so he's got a Monday nighter. And the Colts defense against the Titans offense. I am going to project in a narrow, like 5 to 10 point margin. Cheese gets a massive win. I like his matchup with Prescott and CeeDee Lamb tomorrow night. I like his running backs. I don't think Kyron does as good, but I think he'll still put up double-digit points. And on Zombie side, I worry about this Eagle stack. I think this Eagle stack could be similar to last week, where one of them gets like 20 points or 20 plus points, but the other two just get in the lower teens. And I think that hurts Zombie when you look at the rest of his lineup. I don't know what to expect out of Kupp. Maybe Deebo regresses a little bit and doesn't do as good as he did last week. It was a Deebo week last week. Maybe it's an Ayuk game this week. So I worry about Zombie's lineup a little for these matchups this week, so I'm going to take Cheese to win. Rat, who is winning this one?
This hurts me to say.
Oh, wow.
I cannot face Zombie in the playoffs because Cheese and me are sending him to the fucking fraudulent list of
Let's
the
go, Rat.
season.
Oh.
Because me and Cheese I've had hate for Zombie this season, and somehow Cheese has had more hate. I
Okay.
didn't think that was possible. Cheese's matchups are good. That Eagle stack that I always tell you about, it's not going to go where they all three do good. That's not going to help him. And Zombie, I'm sorry, buddy, but the choke of the season comes from you, buddy. You're not making the playoffs.
Wow. Not only did you project him to lose this week, but you're going as far as saying he's going to lose out and miss the playoffs at 7-7? Wow, that's a massive prediction.
Big
Oh
Rat,
my
bend me right now.
God.
Bend me right now.
Oh my God. Okay, interesting. Pook, who's winning this one?
I think
By the way, Cheese, you
Zombie
need to
will
update
win.
your name.
Wow.
because
Zombie
the
will win,
Eagles
okay.
are going to absolutely fuck the 49ers
Okay.
and win by 40.
Wow. Win by 40.
Stop getting
Alright.
cocky.
What do I have to update, Golfer?
You need to update your team name.
Why?
It's Beat Anthony. Oh, I guess
Yeah, this
that's-
is Anthony.
I forgot.
Yeah,
Okay.
get that off of
Okay.
Team name. Fuck you.
Wow, that's actually clever. You were able to keep the name freaking both weeks.
Can I go next?
Interesting. Okay, go ahead, Ernie.
Zombie's gonna win.
Okay.
His whole team's gonna pop off. Like I said, the Eagles are gonna pop off.
Okay.
He's just gonna bitch from Thursday to Monday about how he faces all these tough fucking teams.
I love
That
it.
would be-
It's my favorite.
Those names are funny.
At least At least we don't have to hear about his win one, lose one all season because
Yeah, that's
that
gone.
streak was
That
broke.
streak
Thank
ended.
God.
It lasted a long time though.
The best part of it is he's only gonna lose by less than 1 point.
Oh
Oh,
God, I
was a
would kill
tight
myself.
loss. Okay.
He's
And is he
just
going to
gonna-
get last place? Because if he loses this week and certain people win, he might find himself in a tie for last place.
No, because he has
No.
points for.
Well, he would still be tied for last place going into the final week. Points
I
for
mean,
don't
I would
matter
love-
at that
I
point.
would love to see that, but I'm just gonna enjoy this.
Okay.
Both scenarios work.
Okay. You know what? I kind of. Oh, hold on. We'll talk about this at the end. All right. Who am I missing? Pussy.
Oh, yeah, Pusa.
In this matchup, I see. It's really going to come down to tomorrow, I think.
Yeah. Cheese has to get off to a good start.
Yeah. I don't think he's going to. I think Zombie's going to win.
Okay. Wow. So you think the Cowboys at home are going to get stifled against the Seahawks?
No, I just don't think they're going to put up what they usually do.
Okay. Interesting.
But I hope they do.
Okay. Interesting. All right. Zombie, are you beating Cheese and sending him to the grave, or?
Cheese's season is coming to an end this week.
Oh no. Okay. So he's gonna cry even extra once you beat him, huh?
Yep.
All right. All right. Cheese. How do you have some hope here?
Dak is the best stat pattern I've ever seen in my life.
Okay.
So even if CD doesn't pop off, Dak is good for like 25 plus, I hope,
Okay.
because he just throws touchdowns to everybody. I'm excited. I think Cooper Kupp has been looking like shit,
Yeah.
and his ankle is cooked. So, you
Okay.
know, while Puka's not doing hot, Cooper Kupp's doing worse.
Okay.
Sutton, Houston, that's gonna be a big scoring game. Russ is gonna cook, and then Atlanta Jets could get me a lot of points. So I'm feeling good. But I do agree with Pusa. I need a good start tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
At least 15 plus from CD, 20 plus from Dak would be amazing.
So you need at least 35. So you need to
I
be up
think-
35-0 after tomorrow
I
night
would hope.
to
Yeah,
feel
I think at least that.
good. Okay. All right. Well, we'll see if you can get that. Just real quickly, one thing before Cheese does his segment, I want everybody's predictions on who is going to get last place. Because as we already talked about, punishment added this year, big time punishment. And the last place has gotten very, very interesting with the Saints. I mean, if Zach wins and if Tyler wins, which they both have winnable matchups this week, let's say they both win, and let's say that would send Ernie, and let's say Cheese loses to Zombie, all of a sudden we have a four-way tie for last place on records, all at 5 and 8. So, I mean, there's a chance for some chaos here at the bottom going into the final week of the season. So I want to know, who does everybody think is going to get last place? Rat, who do you think is getting last place?
What is Zombie's points for?
Oh.
They're up there. I kind of want to
He
get there.
can't. No, Zombies cannot get last
But
place.
He's at 13. He's at 13
No,
and 6.
Right.
Anybody with
Yeah,
7
that's
wins
impossible.
cannot get last
Yeah,
place.
that's
Impossible
impossible
to
for
get
Zombie to
last
get.
place.
It's impossible for Zombie to get last
Anybody
place.
with 6 wins or less can get
Zombie
last
could
place.
miss the playoffs, but he isn't going to
Okay,
get last place.
Zombie will get fucking.
That wasn't the
or he can
question.
get-
The question is
Okay.
who's getting last place.
It's gonna come down to Tyler, and
I'm
I
not
think I'm
at-
gonna hate this in the party, but it's gonna come down to Tyler, and it's gonna come down to Ernie.
Oh, okay. So who's
And
getting last
Tyler
place?
gets last place.
Okay. So Ernie avoids it. Well, at least you saved yourself a little with Ernie there by not predicting him to get it. All right, Cheese. Obviously, you're not going to pick yourself. So who's
It's
getting
Tyler.
last place?
It's his points for are so fucking low. It's Tyler.
Okay.
Even if he gets a win this week, he's not winning next week, so he's done.
Okay. Interesting. Pook.
Yeah, it's most likely Tyler. But I will say it will come down to Tyler or Pusa.
Oh, I like that.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I mean, Pussy does not want to lose 2 in a row, because if he loses 2 in a row, he probably isn't scoring a lot of points, and it could get a little fishy if some of these teams below him win these weeks. All right, Zombie, who's getting last place?
I'm about to throw out a curveball.
Ooh, okay.
Slaps.
Slaps. Wow.
How can he get last place?
I mean, if he loses out and then the right people win, I mean, you need the right type of
guess.
things to happen.
He plays Ernie week 14.
Imagine Slaps having
I
to
mean,
play for
he
Cooper.
needs the scenario that I said where
Is there a chance that the week 14 matchup could be for last place, like the loser?
who is that matchup again?
Ernie and Slaps play week 14.
Well, like, is there a chance that matchup 100% would be the last place
And
person?
Pusa
or
plays
no?
Tyler.
Well, okay, let's say
So
Ernie,
Pusa
Ernie
versus
loses.
Tyler could be.
Ernie loses. Tyler wins. So
I
that
think
puts
Tyler's winning out his last
that
two
puts
games and getting
Zach-
more
Who's
points
his
than
points
Pusa.
for?
that
God
puts
damn.
Zach, Tyler,
think
and
so,
Ernie
too.
all in a tie for last place at 5 and 8. You would need Slaps. Who does Slaps play this week again? He plays.
Yeah.
So you beat him. So that'd put him at 6 and 7, one game ahead. See, but it's not going to just be the sole all be all because you're at the very least you're going to have 3 people tied at 5 and 8, and then
I
Slaps one
think-
game ahead. So
I think
it would still come down to what
Tyler's-
other matchups have, what those other
I
games
think,
happen between Zach and Ernie.
I think Tyler's winning his last 2. Slaps is losing his last 2. And Tyler will get 35 more points than Slaps.
Okay, but
Beat
what
him out
happens
by
with Zach
points
and
for-
Ernie? They win their final
This is
matchup?
better to discuss next week. There's
Yeah.
too many things that need to happen.
Because, like I said, it's not as cut and dry as Slaps just loses his final 2 and Tyler just wins his final 2. You have all these other people as well that I have to factor in. But we'll see next week. I just want to know who everyone thinks right now will get last. Who did I miss? Pussy? Is Pussy
Who's
here?
Should be here.
No? Hello?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Pussy.
I'm going to say...
You missed Ernie.
I know. Oh yeah, that's right. I'll save him for last. I'm gonna say Tyler gets last place, although I'm praying for Ernie to get last place just because if I was in the situation that Ernie's in, he would be praying so hard on my downfall to get last place. I know it for a fact, so I hope he loses this week to get him even more of a scare, but I think Tyler ends up getting last place just because I don't believe in Tyler's team. Ernie, are you avoiding last place? You already said yes. Who's getting last place then? Is Ernie here? No.
The strip club got him.
Okay. All right. Let's see. That's it for this week's part of the show. Cheese. A brand new segment, like we already talked about when Cheese lost this past Monday night. You needed about 15 boxes of tissues for what we heard in the party because he was just going on and on and on and on and on. So we figured we'd give him a segment.
Wait, Ernie's back.
Oh, Ernie, hello.
Talk about cheating.
Hold on. I asked you a question and you weren't here. We were talking who everyone thinks is getting last place. You already said you're not getting it, but who do you think is getting last place?
Look, Zach's gonna lose.
Okay.
I think Tyler's gonna win. I don't fucking know. It's gonna be between Zach and Slaps. I'm gonna beat Slaps. I'm gonna beat Slaps last week. At the end of the week, and then it's gonna just come down to Zach if he can win it out.
Well, that scenario is impossible because if you beat Zach, he's 2 games behind Slaps, no matter what Slaps does this week, and there would be only 1 week left. So that scenario is not possible.
Oh, so Zach.
He would have to beat Zach would have to beat you this week, and Slaps lose for that scenario to happen. So
that's not happening.
Okay, so Zach's getting
Alright,
last
let's
place.
get on to this.
Yeah.
Okay, unlucky Zach.